And if we notice underneath, they give you all three functions: h of x, f of x, and g of x. And letter A, label the name of each function and fill in its a, h, and k value. So for the first one, we need to be able to label the name. It's a f, g, or k. This is a quadratic equation, and we know the quadratic equations are parabolas. I'm looking for the parabola, which is this one in here, and the name of this function is h. Now let's go and fill in the h and the k first. H and k corresponds to the vertex, and the vertex for this will be 1, 2, 3, so it'll be negative 3, and k will be negative 1. Negative 3 and negative 1. Remember that your h value is negative 3. It doesn't change. We don't do the opposite until we plug it into the equation. In this case, we just label in the h value. And the a is your scale factor. So if I plug in the next number, how high is the next point? If I plug in the next number, it will be 1, 2, 3. Now let's do the same thing for the next one. Square root, remember, square root is this equation here, this graph. First, I'm going to find the starting point. It's no longer the vertex, but we're going to call this the starting point. That'll be 1 to the right and 0. That'll be your h and k. Therefore, h is 1, k is 0. And a is your scale factor. If I plug in the next number, how high is it? 1. And let's not forget to label what is the name of the function? F. X to the third power. Whenever you have to the third power, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. And that's this function here. The name of the function is g. This will be your starting point. It will be 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So 3, comma 3. And a is your scale factor. So if I plug in the next number, how high is it? Plug in the next number is 1, 2. So we finish part A. Part B. Circle the following function that have an inverse that is not a function. Now remember, an inverse that is not a function, do we need to do the vertical line test or the horizontal line test? Remember, if you're testing the relation, we're doing a vertical line test. But if we're testing the inverse, we are doing a horizontal line test. In this case, we are testing whether the inverse is a function. So that means that you can only cross once. So let's start with f of x. This one right here. How many times does it cross any time? It only crosses once. It crosses once here, once here, once here, once here. So f of x is fine. We're looking for one that's not. G of x. This is g of x. So does it cross more than once? Yeah, it crosses only once. Even here, it only crosses 1. So is this a function? Yes. H of x is the only one that crosses twice at a given point. So that one is not. And that's the one that you need to circle. Explain the reasoning in part B. And you can just write down the horizontal line test determine that it crosses twice at a given point. I'll try to provide more space on your test. Let's jump over to letter D, and let me go and fold it so we can see it. Determine the value of g of h of negative 2. So first you're going to plug in the -2 inside the h. So I'm going to go 1, 2. How high is the graph? 1, 2. So therefore h of -2 is 2. And whatever I get, I'm going to plug inside the g. So therefore I'm going to plug inside the g. I'm looking for g of 2. So I'll go to the right 2. This is my g. 1, 2. And how is it? 1. So therefore this is equal to 1. For what values of x, value of values of x is f of x equal to g of x? So they're asking you, notice that this is f of x and this is g of x. Where do they intersect? They intersect at this point. Notice that it's 2, 1, but they're asking for what values of x. So therefore, when x is equal to 2, and that'll be your answer.